Hello everyone, welcome to a series that I'm quite excited for. This is Broden plays Stellaris. Now Stellaris is a game that I've played quite extensively. I very much enjoy it. It is a game in which you basically start as a... Well, I've actually created a couple of my own things, but it looks like they're not in this particular game. So we're going to create a new empire. So basically what the game is you start as an empire that you've created, and you start on your home planet and with one star base, and then you try and look for ways to expand into the solar system. After you look through the solar system, then you can expand into different solar systems around yours, and it's a lot of fun. So one of the main things that people really love about this game, and myself included, is just the customization, even in the very beginning of the game. So, for instance, we can be pretty much any kind of race that we want, even from fungoids to humans. Like it's ridiculous. Like there are definitely some things that look kind of interesting. Let's put it that way. I think it would be nice if we do some sort of thematic situation. Like if we do these guys, we can probably do the fact that they have a long lifespan, but they're very slow, or something of that nature. If we do an arthropoid, we can do some sort of like, they're tough, so they have good military because of their exoskeleton, but at the same time they're like this guy, this cockroach, seems like he would be able to withstand a nuclear blast. That's nice. I don't think I want any of these birds. I do want something that actually like looks okay as well. Oh man, that guy looks kind of like a dragon. I'm kind of down with that. These are some mammals here. Oh, a little fox guy. And then here are the humanoids. You know what? I kind of really like the dragon guy looking. So we'll take him. We'll name this... You know what? We'll name this guy. The species name will be Broden. The plural will be Brodens, and then the adjective will be Brodenian. Yeah, that's what's up. And then you can write a whole biography. We are dragons. Hear us roar. There. Oh, we just went past the name list. So the name list, you can have a ship prefix ISS. You can have humanoids, mammalians, musculoids, plantoids, reptilians. Let's do like reptilians. That sounds pretty sweet. We'll do just the beginning right here, and the ship prefix, we won't do ISS. We'll do, that's International Space Station. We'll do Draconian. Nice. That's what's up, bruh. Okay, so we can pick 5 traits. But we only start with 2 trait points. So there are traits here that cost 2 points or 1 point, or even up to 4 or 5 points. But there are traits that actually take points away, and the reason why that is because like non-adaptive, or gives you points to spend elsewhere. So this species does not adapt well to foreign environments. So they're not great traits to have. But if you want more points to do something like venerable, where they live for 90 years, you're going to have to take some crappy traits here. So one of the things that I think I like to do is I like to take a look at the traits, and I like to choose some that would go well with the species that we have designated here. Since we've done a dragon, what would they be? Would they be intelligent? Are dragons intelligent? Depends on what kind of... I mean, I feel like they'd be non-adaptive though, because they like fire, and like living in a, let's say like an Arctic world would be very hard for them. So we just gained a few points for that. They have more ability to learn. They're very strong. Yeah, I mean, members of the species possess a strength that almost defies the laws of physics. That's a freaking dragon right there. But let's take a look at a couple of these. Conformists, so they're more likely to conform. No, they're not actually. So I think deviants, these people are rebellious in nature and constantly try to challenge the status quo. Like that's a dragon to a T, man. So now we have 5 points, and we have 3 more traits that we can do. Honestly, I think dragons would be very Now, would they be enduring or will they be venerable? You know what I mean? I think that they would live up to 30 years longer. I'd like to say venerable, but at the same time, we kind of need to spend our points elsewhere. So, very strong is definitely one that we want to take here. Let's see. And you know, if we take another hit, and then take this away, enduring away, take like another hit, might be able to do venerable? Nah, there's no hit that's worth 2 points. So what we can do is we can do, you know, they're going to last a little bit longer, they're enduring, and then also, you know what? They're rapid breeders, for sure. Absolutely, that's a dragon right there. So, we want to be a male or a female? I mean, we could be a male, that's fine. We'll do Zos. Sure, that's fine with me. No, wait. Drogon. Is that how you spell it? I may have completely missed that Game of Thrones situation, but hey, whatever. I hope you guys don't judge me too harshly on that. Color variant 5 looks pretty cool. I don't know why they have to wear clothes at all. They're freaking dragons, man. I do like the original one too. You know, I'm a fan of blue. We're going to go with the blue one. And let's see. I mean, they're dragons. They probably look like something like this. You know, skeletal a little bit. Drogon. Yeah. I mean, it's close. So what's the ruler's name? Draconian. Absolutely. I'm going to confuse everyone. They're going to be like, everything's freaking Draconian. Well, oh well, okay? So they would definitely like desert, arid, or savanna. I'm pretty sure they'd like a desert world, man. So dry, rocky world with a nitrogen oxygen atmosphere. Precipitation and major bodies of surface water are relatively rare. Significant temperature variations between day and night cycles. Vegetation is scarce, but even moderate precipitation can make the desert bloom. Now, I don't know if they'd have, like, you know, day and night cycles can be very... Savannah, maybe? Dry, arid plains. Brief wet seasons, but aside from a few, ubiquitous grasses, vegetation is largely concentrated around shallow oases. I mean, that seems more around what a dragon would be. So the homeworld name, let's we can randomize it if we want, or we can just put the homeworld name in here. So you know what? I think I'll do Kenpo. Will be the homeworld name for one of my very awesome viewers here, and then another one will be Bvalen. That will be the star name. And then the random solar system, so we do the Sol system, the Denab system, the two systems that we really know much about in real life, or we can just do a random starting solar system. I'm going to go with random because I want to see how this plays out. Now, it also allows you to look at the style of city that we would have. Now, we're reptilian, so we would do a reptilian city for sure. And now here's where a lot of the meat and bones comes in. So you have the traits, which is a big part. But the other one is you have government and ethics. So here's this wheel here, and you can choose 3 of the ones on the inside, or one on the outside, and then another one on the inside. So basically, what these are is it determines what your empire does. So are we militarists? Are we xenophobes? Do we hate other things? Are we individualists, where we don't think that, like, we think that individual dragons are better than the whole? Are we materialists? Are we pacifists? Are we xenophiles? We love other aliens? Are we collectivists, where we believe that individuals suck, and instead we have more of a, you know, everyone kind of goes through the same thing for the greater good? Or are we like spiritualists? I honestly think they'd be a fanatic material or militarists. So the ability to project force is of paramount importance. The only way to preserve our way of life is to make sure everyone shares it, willingly or not. Kind of seems to me like that would be a dragon thing for sure. They would probably also be a xenophobe. The stake could not be higher as we reach into the vast uncharted expanses of the galaxy, where we are gambling with the very survival of our species. Never trust the alien. Its false smile hides an unknowable mind. Yeah, that seems right to me. So, based on that, you get different prompts of what you can do. Right now, we have an indirect democracy. We can have a plutocratic oligarchy, or we can have a despotic empire, or we can go up here and do the military dictatorship, military junta, or military republic. And based on what you do, you actually have certain skills and stuff like that that you get. So ship upkeep is minus 5%, ship upgrade cost minus 25%. That's actually really good. Naval capacity plus 10%, ship cost minus 10%, and rivalry influence gain plus 25%. That's actually really nice. But this will be one ruler per military style. This will be an election every 40 to 50 years to select a new ruler. Ship upkeep is nice. Admiral skill is nice. Oh goodness. It's really hard to choose between these. And then we also have these, you know, we can have energy credits and minerals, and our mining station build cost is subtracted. Colony influence cost is reduced, but planet border extrusion is increased. You know what? Military dictatorship all the way, man. We are the Hitlers of this world. Please don't take that the wrong way. Royal Broden planet states. Broden hierarchy. Imperial Broden stars. Hierarchy of Bvalen. Yeah, screw it. That sounds awesome. Alright, and then we will go ahead and make our flag. So we have the different types here, and every single type that we have a bunch of different options, and then we can change the colors as well as the way that it looks. So if you look up here, this is where this is changing. I mean, dragons, you know, that kind of looks dragonish. Oh. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. So, that's a dragon. That's definitely a dragon. Maybe we'll do primary color black, and then the secondary color is red. Oh, that looks so sick. Oh, that looks even better. Oh my goodness. I'm a fan of all of these. That's what's up, baby. We're going to do this one right here. Alright, so another one is you can choose a starting weapon. Missile weapons kind of suck, honestly, because they have an ability. I think it's very, very early on in the game where you can stop missiles from even hitting your ship. So energy weapons are the way to go at this point. They are changing a few things, because I have noticed that. Also, warp travel is easiest. That means you don't have to have your hands held between different ships, or between different planets and stuff like that. Whereas if you did like hyperspace or even wormholes, you'd have to build a wormhole station to get from place to place. So it kind of sucks. But yeah, here's our reptilian, the Broden clan here, the hierarchy of Bvalen. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and save, and we'll click done. So now we get to choose what kind of galaxy we go into. So I really like a huge galaxy, to be honest with you. I really love how expansive this game can be, you know what I mean? So, and we can also do an elliptical, a spiral of 2 or 4 arms, or a ring. Artificial intelligence empires, how many are advanced? This is the max fallen empires, which means like how many empires were really, really great and then they kind of crashed. The aggressiveness, the difficulty, these are 2 separate entities there. Empire placement, we place them in clusters or random. Clusters are nice because it makes sure that everyone kind of has their own space in the beginning. We can have advanced neighbors, and we can have endgame crises. Iron Man mode, that's fun to turn on, but I'm not great with this game yet, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I like the spiral with 4 arms to begin with. It's because it kind of... Honestly, I don't know why. I was going to come up with some sort of reason, and I was like, you know, I don't have one. So I'm going to grab some water real quick while this loads, and I'll be right back, guys. Hopefully you let the music take you away as the game does load. The game doesn't take too long to load, because most of the loading happens when you first start up the game, which happened before I made a colony. Alright, so, in the eons since the first primitive Broden communities took shape on the great savannas of Kenpo, our civilization has spread and prospered. Countless nation-states formed as we advanced through the technological ages, warring against each other until only one remained. Although the fighting was often brutal, those who survived nurtured a martial tradition that has prevailed to this day. Now, after the successful creation of several experimental subspace fields, the finest minds of the hierarchy of Bvalen have finished the development of the first warp drives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp.
Welcome, Grand Marshal. I am Veer, a prototype synthetic intelligence developed under utmost secrecy by the military. High Command has activated me to serve as your advisor and strategic analyst.
Now this is our little tutorial robot. What happens is we can have him do a full tutorial, which means tell us everything. It'll come up with different things for us to do and different goals. We can say we can use some advice, which means every time we click on a screen, he'll tell us about what that screen does. Or you can shut this thing down. So he goes away, and it's actually kind of funny the way that they do it. And then you also get 2 scrap for it, because you know he goes away. So listen to it real quick.
I urge you to reconsider.
I urge you to reconsider as he fades into the nether. Alright, so here we are. One thing that I didn't know about this game for the longest time is you can actually like pan the camera around like this, which is really cool if you're like in space battles and you know things are shooting. So this is a real-time 4X game. As you see up here in the right-hand corner, it is paused currently. We have a science ship, and basically what you want to do with your science ship is you want to survey the entirety of the system. The reason being is because they'll start going out there and they'll start surveying things, and on different planets you will receive different things, whether it be there can be certain resources like research stations or minerals or influence or something like that. Or you can find some sort of scientific discovery in which, you know, will allow your scientists to break it down and see what's going on. So the first thing that I want to do is you want to assign research before you unpause the game, which I didn't do. So the physics research, these are our researchers right now. So we have this guy who has an expertise in rocketry. This guy has an expertise in new worlds, and this guy has an expertise in everything. He's a genius. So he has research speed of plus 10%. So as you see, this is how quick that this is going to process. So his skill gives it plus 2%, and then also his spark of genius gives it plus 5% or plus 10%. So he has plus 12% in research progress. So it gives you a choice of three different researchers to begin with. There are differences of how good things are. So these are all blue, which means they're all kind of the same. So we can do quantum theory, which gives us a physics lab, and gives us computing as well. And the physics lab allows us to do additional physics research. We can also do a fusion reactor, fusion power, which will give us a fusion reactor, which will allow us to process more energy, and it'll give us more energy storage capacity. I actually do like to start with that, to be honest with you. And then, so for this guy, you see right here how it says 2%? Well, he's really good at the expertise of new worlds. So if we give him the colonies for new worlds, it goes up to 12%, because that's what he's really good at. Now this guy, he's really good at rockets, but we don't have anything of rockets at this point. So we can do mineral storage capacity and also get a mining network. We can do non-composite armor, which helps with the hull plating, which is nice. Or we can do an engineering facility. Well, I do enjoy doing the mineral research. So we'll start with that. And then we'll go to normal speed. This is the planet. And on the planet, you have a particular governor. You can change that governor. You can recruit a different governor. You have different scientists, admirals, and generals that you can recruit. You can also have edicts. What edicts do is they're planet-based on this planet. And what they do is so this will last 10 years. It costs 150 influence. And what it'll do is it'll make it so people don't diverge as much. This will make migration attraction plus 100%. This will reduce building costs and construction time, and this will, increase the speed in which we build armies and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So those are different edicts that you can put on the planet itself. You also have the surface. Now on the surface you have different nodes. This is basically how the planet looks right now, and you can, for instance, this guy right here doesn't have anything on it. It's just a savanna terrain. What the heck? So you get 1 mineral and 2 food from there, so we can build, and we can decide whether we want to build a basic science lab, a hydroponics farm, a mineral silo, a mining network, or a power plant. Now, I'm going to pause it real quick. If we decide to do like a food, we keep the food that's already there. So it already does 2 food. So if we do the food, it'll do 4 food. If we do mining, it'll do 3 of those minerals, but the food will go away. Same here, the minerals will go away if we do the food. If we do one of these, then all the bonuses of this particular land go away. So we can do that. And then construction unit will suppress the collection of the resources of the one situation there, and we're okay with that. So this is going to give us 2 extra food, and that already gives us 2 food, so that place is going to give us 4 food altogether, which I think is a great deal of awesomeness, for sure. Now, the other thing that we have to look at right now is we have our orbital construction. Okay, I'm going to pause the game real quick. We found an anomaly. What that is, so it's on this one right here. So during the survey of our home system, we found something on Artokes that did not match earlier observations made from our home world. So the anomaly level is 1, the failure risk is 0%, so we have no chance to fail. So we will go ahead and research that. And then this science ship is going to go into orbit here. Let's take a look here and watch it happen. And then once it's in place, it's going to start scanning that. Scanning that planet and see what's going on. So it's being scanned. I mean, just the whole game looks awesome. I really like this game. I'm just gonna be honest. All right. So and the ships also look really cool, like the effects and everything that they do here. We haven't even been into combat yet. That's going to be a whole new world. But all right. So we have an encounter. We have encountered some form of alien vessels. Now, if you have a question as to where something is, you can actually click this Go To button, and it'll show you. So it shows us to this this home world. The reason being is because right here we have these aliens that just came in here. They're alien menaces at first because we have no idea what they are. So this is very interesting for sure. They're the Alpha Menace, and what we should do in this place is we should say, hey. Let's take a look at our situation log, and these are like different missions that you can get. So we need to learn more about these guys, these aliens. So they may, if they possess a language, we must decipher it and establish communications. So the reward is we either get influence or a special project, and it finishes in 11 months, and it costs 60 social research. So what that means is as we research this, and if we go to research, this guy is not actually researching anything because he's busy with the investigating the menace. So that is good to know in case you have something that you really want to get done and something pops up as a mission. You might want to hold off the mission until something is done there. So let's go back to the orbital construction as I was doing before. So we have the ability to make a Corvette. How are these two different? They're not any different from one another. Or a construction ship or a science ship. We can also build things in empty module slots, but we don't have any additional modules. Alright, so we have detected a weak FTL trail near Kartox. It is very old, making it impossible to track. This must mean that other interstellar travelers have been here before, watching us. Surely, gathering intel. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies whenever we get the chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. Alright, yeah, we must be aware of the Xeno threat. And because we are a militarist society that hates other aliens, most of our prompts will say really, like, honestly shitty things. If you're spiritualist, then it'll be like, oh, God be with us that we found this. It's so amazing. But, like, since we're, you know, xenophobes, we're like, dude, everything's a threat. Destroy it all. So that's pretty cool. You know, per cool, for sure. Alright, so, we found our first anomaly, and I showed you how to do that. Now, the science ship is still going to continue to scan. Now, I haven't even looked at, for you guys, the map. So this is where we started. This is the Bvalen system. See this? With all the different planets and everything we have going on here? Well, check this out. So these are our stars that are next to us. Okay? That's the galaxy. Yeah, so each one of these stars that you see have different planets in them. So as you can kind of tell, this game's quite massive, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about it. Is it kind of gets you into the exploration of space, and it kind of gets you into that mood. Now, construction ships are pretty cool. They can build frontier outposts, which means that we can go into an uninhabited star system and start expanding our borders. And then we also have a mining station we can build, which I'll show you if we ever come across any mining situations what that will be. We can build a research station, observation post, that will we can do it in orbit around planets inhabited by primitive civilizations to study their society. And then we can also do a military station, which can be built anywhere in the star system to defend the area within the effective radius. So, one thing to keep in mind, just like every other 4X game, this game heavily relies on resources. For instance, if we build a military station, it's going to cost 121 minerals to begin with, and then also the monthly maintenance is +4 energy credits. So, or plus 0.4 energy credits. So, it definitely makes a difference. If you keep building a bunch of things that you don't necessarily need, you're going to run into the issue that you have a lot of things that are taking a lot of your energy, and there's really no reason for it at that time. So, another thing to mention is...
Construction complete.
Alright, our construction is complete on Kenpo. Which means we got the, if we go to the surface here, we got this guy right here. It's not currently being worked. This building requires a growing population to function because this guy's not there yet. This blue right here shows the growing population, which means that this guy isn't actually here yet, but he will be here in basically 3 years, I imagine. So that's pretty cool, increase our population in 3 years' time, whatever. No big deal. It's not like that's an eternity or anything. Alright, so if we look at more, we can do planets and sectors, leaders, factions, strategic resources, species, politics and edicts, expansion planner, and ship designer. We also have the technology, the situation log, the contacts, which as of right now we don't have any other contacts to communicate with. And that's that, man. I mean, this game is very expansive. I just kind of wanted to dive in a little bit, show you guys a little bit about the world. So this is a very good opportunity for me to show you something. So right here, this guy is a frozen world. Habitability is 0%. However, it does have resources right there. It has minerals. So what we can do, we can say, okay, construction ship. Okay, so we now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Kenpo. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. You know what? I think that is a commendable initiative.
Situation log updated.
Alright, so let's go back to the construction chip. We can right-click on this planet and we can say, hey, build a mining station. So what that's going to do is it's going to set a mining station right here, and that mining station will start to mine the 2 minerals out of this. And that's +2 a month. So every month we will gain 2 more minerals from that station. And see, there's 2 energy credits, so we can build a mining station here for 2 energy credits. And right here is 2 engineering research, so we can build a research station for 2 engineering research, so on and so forth. Now, at the beginning of the game, it does go by a little bit slowly. It is really nice for me, though, because I'm kind of explaining everything as it goes on. But I will tell you, if you wanted to know. So you can pause the game like this, and then you can also go like incredibly fast. So as you can see, our ships are now just kind of zooming everywhere. And then we'll bring it down to just fast as this construction ship builds its thing. So this is one of the little touches that I really like as well. The construction ship sends out little droid ships, and then they start building the thing for it. So we have recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Bathfish. If what we have learned from these artifacts is correct, the civilization was some sort of confederation that consisted of many different alien races. They called themselves the First League and appear to have coexisted in relative peace some 2 million years ago. Though the Bvalen system lies in the region of space that seems to have made up the core of their territory, a partial map found among the artifacts indicates that this First League may have covered a significant portion of our galaxy before its eventual collapse. So that's very interesting,
Situation log updated.
which updates our situation log, which means that we now have the Habitable Worlds survey quest, which means that we need to survey 8 habitable worlds, and then the First League. So we need to find 6 First League artifacts. So, and right now we're studying these guys, and we'll finish in 1 month. So, I will actually, I'll I'll end this episode as soon as we're done.
Special project complete.
Ah, special project complete. Perfect. That's what I was just going to say. So our special project of the alien race is just finished. So there it is. So the space-borne life forms, which the Brodenia head of society research has come to refer to as Tiyanki, are docile creatures capable of accessing some lower dimensions of subspace. They roam from system to system with remarkable ease. They graze on gases common to the upper layers of many gas giants. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be absorbed. They will rarely, if ever, attack, even when provoked. They can safely be ignored. Alright, perfect. So we received frequency tuning. That's our option now. So if we look at our research, we now have the option to do... is it this one? No, it wouldn't be this one. So let's continue on with that. Frequency tuning, which... Adapting the Tiyanki method of siphoning energy from gaseous matter, it is possible to construct weapons draining energy from enemy ships. What? So it does 3 to 11 energy damage. That's actually really cool. We're going to continue with the colony ship, though, because it's very important for us to be able to get off of our home planet. And this is actually where I'm going to go ahead and end the game here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please click the like button. It helps out a great deal, and I will see you next time.